What's going on, everybody? Marcus back again here with another video, and today, hopefully it won't be too long of a video, but I wanted to talk about my biggest regret as a guild master, especially within Legends Anonymous, the guild I ran for 3 years. This is going to be possibly a controversial video. I don't know if I'll even publish it, but I definitely want to record it. So if you're seeing this, I actually had the guts to publish this video with knowing the ramifications. So, as many of you know, I ran Legends Anonymous for 3 years, and I was technically the co-GM of the guild along with my brother. I was the leader of the raiding operations, which basically meant I was the raid leader and I was also the lead recruiter. So, anything in game in terms of the raiding operations of the guild, I was in charge of. My brother was in charge of the wholesale big picture management of the guild, which we kind of needed as we got bigger as a community. We expanded beyond just a raiding guild. So one of my biggest regrets in Legends Anonymous was there was a lot of times where I felt like I needed to, I guess you can say, lay the hammer down and really flex a little bit of muscle and make some unilateral decisions as the leader of the raiding operations as opposed to running it as a partnership. Without that, I think I could have avoided a lot of the stress and a lot of the damage that came along with running that guild, and maybe would have extended my time there. To get into specifics, and what I mean by that is, even though I was in charge of the raiding operations, there was a lot of times where I had to kind of cede to the opinion of my officers and the opinion of my co-GM. This is a problem. As I said before, guilds work best as a benevolent dictatorship. They tend to run into some problems as a two-headed benevolent dictatorship, mostly because I didn't feel like I had a voice in the big picture operations of the guild, while the co-GM had a voice in the raiding operations of the guild. I felt like I had a leash on me when I was running the guild. Or the raiding operations of the guild. I didn't have full reign to really do what I really wanted to do, which I really thought would help the guild and make the guild run as a faster, smoother operation. I just felt like there were times where we needed to buckle down and just say, listen, we're a heroic progression rating guild. We need to operate as a heroic progression rating guild. Sometimes people needed to be benched that didn't get benched. Sometimes people needed to be told to get better, and we didn't do that because we didn't want to hurt people's feelings. That didn't happen all the time, but it happened enough to where we started to lose a lot of the confidence in our good guild members. And that was one thing that I don't think was understood by leadership and the partnership that I had in the guild. Wow, it's really tough to say that because I've been wanting to say that for quite some time, and I never actually had a chance to actually say that. It feels good. But that's definitely one of my biggest regrets as a guild master, and I think that any aspiring guild master out there that sees this should know that don't be afraid to take control. Believe me when I tell you, once you start taking control of situations, most of the time people are going to cede to your control because ultimately they know that there's a pecking order and that there's a hierarchy and that you're in charge, and they're going to try and chip away at that. And then once you lay that hammer down and you draw the line in the sand, most of the time they're going to cede to you because they just want to play games like, okay, I get it, you're right, but they're going to try and push as hard as they can, right? It's childish, elementary school behavior, but we never ever quite succumb to that behavior as adults. We are going to push and manipulate as hard as we can. If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to ask for milk. If you tell the mouse no cookies at all, eventually the mouse is going to stop asking. So definitely one of my biggest regrets is not reigning in complete control of what I had on my plate. So I felt like I was hamstrung half the time. And that made me a little resentful. And it made it seem like I wasn't being listened to. Like I didn't have a voice that people listened to. People listened to me in raid when they said, okay, stack here or move here. but I didn't quite feel like my ideas or my perspective was appreciated. And I think that was one of the biggest factors in me losing my passion of being the Guildmaster of Legends Anonymous. Maybe I should have covered this into why I quit being a GM. This could be like a part two of that, but I think that's important. And I think it is important for guild members or officers to make sure that your guild master feels like he or she's being heard. Because the second they feel like nobody's listening to me, nobody cares about what I think, they're just here to, mooch off my efforts. That's when you get a resentful GM, and that's when you get a GM who's going to quit or at least lash out. So, yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Wow, that felt really good to get that off my chest. Um, any other guild masters out there have some tough and trying times? I'd love to hear your stories. I'm actually working on maybe a YouTube podcast series for guild masters, just because I think that there's a lot for us to talk about here. So maybe if we get enough good press, enough likes, enough subscriptions, we can continue on with this. But those are my thoughts. And go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. And catch you guys for the next video.